I'm back for the fourth and final card in the Exploring in Color Paper Pumpkin Kit that we had for May. Pretty cool cards were in this kit. I really liked them. And I'm pretty sure, the way that I've finished up here, this might end up to not be pieces and parts, but when I made it, originally it was pieces and parts that were left over from the other cards that I had made. So I'm hoping that we're not going to ruin a whole card like I am just for this, but it's going to use the left side of this card. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that it was pieces and parts left over. I have 2 additional cards to show you at the end that I have, so along the lines, that could be where I had the extra pieces from. But this is a side step card, or a center step maybe, because the sticky uppy part is right in the middle. I'm going to show you how we're going to make that. So we're going to start with a 4 1/4 by 11 piece of cardstock, and I have Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to go slow so that I can make sure I remember everything. I'm going to open up my trimmer, because our trimmer goes out to like 17 something odd inches, so it's good for cutting 12 by 12 and measuring and everything. So we're going to start and score at 1 inch, although we don't really need to score all the way across, that's fine. Then we're going to score at 2 inches, but we're only going to score in 1 inch from both sides. So we're going to go score up to 1 inch. We're going to pick it up, and we're going to go from 4 1/4 down to 3 1/4 to make that inch. Then we're going to come up to 5 1/2. And we're going to score we're going to score between the two. So we're going to score from 1 inch to 3 1/4 inches. So I'm going to go from 1 inch to 3 1/4 inches. That will make the part that sticks up for us. So 1 inch is going to fold here. This is our 2 inch, 5 1/2 inch, and then we're going to score again at 6 1/2, 1 inch in from both sides, so up to 1 and then down to 3/4. All right, then we are going to turn our paper and score or cut. Now we're going to cut, so we're going to put our paper at 1 inch, put our cutting blade at 1 inch, and we're going to cut up to the 6 1/2 inch mark that we made. And then we're going to do the same on this side, and since we have 1 inch over here on this, I'm just going to line it up on that side, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to put the cutter and drag it up to our 6 1/2 inch mark that we made. Set that aside. And then now I'm going to go ahead and fold. So if you start in the center a little, go slow. That's going to fold up. The backs are going to fold up. 2 inch is going to fold inward and up, inward and up. Like that. So we've got mountain fold, 2 mountain folds, then we got a valley and a mountain. So the 1 inch line we made was a mountain, the 2 inches are valleys, and then the other ones are mountain folds. And go ahead and burnish those. And then this is where I said you didn't need to score all the way across. You could have just went to the, just in 1 inch. All right, so now we are going to take our half of our card. Yes, we need our cutter again. And because our paper is 4 1/4, we'll cut it right up there, and then you can use this for something else. Or if you're cutting this whole card, you'll need the boat. So now we want to trim 1 inch. Let me see. We're going to go down because our sides, we're going to have 3/4 of an inch and then like 7/8 of an inch for the boho blue layer underneath. You don't have to layer it. I didn't layer the center, but I did layer my sides. You don't have to. You could make them like 1 inch or 7/8 and just put them right on there. But I'm trying to think. I need 3. I'm going to cut them at 3/4, but then I know my center is going to be a little bit wide. So let me go down to 4 and make space for that little bit that we're going to lose there. So now we're going to make a 3/4 inch cut on this side, and we're going to make a 3/4 inch cut on the other side. And now our center is hopefully the right width. No, it's a little bit wide. We needed to cut a little more off, so that's fine. I'm going to cut down to, this is 2 1/4, so we'll just cut it down to 2 1/4 because I'm going to have it be the full width of that piece of paper. So I'm going to cut a little bit off of each side. We want it 2 1/4. And we're going to need that because everything's going to be a little bit long. You'll see if we glue this right down in the center, it will go all the way down to the bottom, but we don't want it to go all the way to the bottom. So I'm going to cut off. I could get my ruler out and tell you how long it is, just so you know. I'm a winger. So we need it to be 4. So I'm going to go 4 1/4, just so that I know I've got enough. And see, I don't. I just cut it wrong. So we will come in and we will fix it by cutting. I totally measured that wrong. Should have been cut at 4 1/2. So now I'm going to glue that on to my center. And I'd have used another card, but I ran out of cards because I made a couple extra cards that I'm going to show you at the end. I'm going to glue that on here. And then I'll just glue this little piece of water on where it belongs. And hopefully it's not really going to show. Hopefully everybody's going to be in awe of how cool the card is and not notice that I got a slice mark there. See, look, you can't even see it. All right. So now I've cut 2 strips of boho blue for the sides. I told you I was going to go slow so that I didn't mess up. We're going to go from the 2 inch mark up to the 6 1/2 inch mark with our boho blue. And I've cut that at 7/8, I do believe. Let me get my ruler that I don't know how to measure on. Yes, I cut that at 7/8 so that it would, and it is The space again is 4.5 inches, which I should have known from the last time when I just cut it wrong. Because when it's folded up, everything should line up. So I'm going to put this down here. Leave a little tiny bit of the border showing of the Misty Moonlight, and I'll put one on the other side as well. Leave just a smidge of the blue showing. And then now our two side pieces that we cut need to be 4.5. And so we want to get this to line up, right? So let me show you. We want like the mountain to line up on there. So we need to cut it off at the top. So I'm going to go to 4.5 and cut that off. And I'll glue that on. And this I cut at 3/4 of an inch. And it's going to cover the whole length. I'm going to line it up from the top just in case I... There we go. And then this the same way. We're going to cut it off at the top at 4.5. And I just put that one on the wrong side. Oh, you guys. 4.5. So this one goes on the other side. Thought I had kept track of my pieces and parts good enough, but what a disaster this card's turning out to be. I apologize, but it happens to the best of us, right? So let's glue this back down. Over on this side, put a little bit of glue down here to glue my tear piece down. There we go. And we'll glue this back down on the other side. And then we'll glue the mountains down over here. I want to line it up from the top. Get my spacing good. And bring it down. So that goes up. That goes in. And now because I've got a little too much down here, it doesn't want to close up correctly. So trim off any excess that you got. And then that should help it to close up properly. There we go. Now it's closing up. That little tiny bit will get you every time. Excuse me. Then what I've done is I've taken another strip of the boho blue in a 7/8 inch strip. I don't have that one cut yet, so we're going to cut a 7/8 inch strip at 4¼ inches long. And we're going to glue that down on the bottom piece so that it goes all the way across there. Now you could leave a little extra around the edges. I wanted it to go all the way across. Like so. And then we need a 3/4 inch piece to go on here. And so I'm going to use the boat, the canoe from here. And so I'm cutting that off, and I need that at 3/4 inch. And then we need it at 4¼ inches. And it's currently 4½. So I'm going to just kind of split the difference. And then I'll glue that onto Did I cut it too? Yes, I did. I cut it too wide. We're going to make it work. It's barely going to show any of the boho blue, but that is perfectly fine. Cut it a little bit long. I'll trim it off. I've got a piece for the inside that measures 4¼ well, it's 4 inches, and I should tell you how long exactly this is. I'm going to go 4¼ again, so I'm going to go 4 inches by 4¼ inches, and then we're just going to glue that inside so you can write, you can stamp a greeting, a saying, because we are going to put a quick happy birthday on the outside. So now we're going to finish this card off with a greeting up at the top using the happy birthday set or stamp. I've got a 3/4 inch wide by 3 inch long piece of white, and I'm going to stamp in the boho blue. I decided I didn't really like that clay one very well. We're going to try blue on this one and see if it helps the flow a little bit. I think that other one sticks out a little too much. So we got our happy birthday. Then I've got my punch, one of my pick a size, pick a label punches. I'm going to feed that up through there. Turn it around. And I'm just eyeballing down in here, just trying to make sure that my paper's kind of gonna line up the same way for each piece. Then I have a piece of boho blue that's 7/8 inches wide by 3½ inches long. We're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna try and line that up the same on each side. And we'll just glue the greeting onto the base. It looks a little bit too long. Should have went 3¼ instead of 3½. So let me let's cut it again. see if it gets any better, closer. And we're going to cut it one more time. And we'll call that good. And then I just glued it on flat. Did not pop it up. This will fit in the envelope, so you don't have to worry too much about it, you know, sticking out. Sometimes when we make these different folds, you gotta be careful that the pieces aren't gonna, that it's all gonna fit in the envelope. So I'll put that on crooked, put it on straight. I guess I'm gonna do a little cockeyed, but you can put it on straight too. And so then there we have it. Okay. That is our 4th card for this kit. And then I have a couple others that I want to show you that I made. This one used a whole card, and I just trimmed it down to become a slimline card. And it is an 8-inch wide piece of paper this way by 9 inches wide this way, and then it will fit into a legal envelope this way. Then I just layered it with crumb cake. I went down 1/4 of an inch, and then I cut the card down 1 more 1/4 of an inch. And then I just used this white pieces from the kit I used with Deepest Sympathy from last month's kit, and then just made a couple of these flags with it. And I was thinking that this being so large, it would be a good card if you needed it for work to have a bunch of people sign, or maybe not a sympathy card, being that it's so huge. You could have a happy birthday on there as well, maybe make it a little bigger, but it would also be a great card for a bunch of people to sign if you have a need for that. So I did that one also, and then I did this one with the left side of the card with the path on it, and I used my Lazy Days stamps and dies to make a railing and like a porch flooring, just to have it looking off into the wilderness kind of thing. I think I'm going to do this for my Lazy Days class, so I didn't want to get too in-depth for you guys to need more outside tools, stamp sets and stuff to create yours, so I did not finish this. I'll put a chair on it and some other stuff for my class, but if you happen to have this or another kind of railing, you got some wood grain paper if you don't have a stamp, and put a porch flooring down. And so there you go. There's a couple extra ideas and our fourth card for the kit. See you next month.